Alright. Hello, chat. I hope y'all are doing well. I set up my alarms for my in-person class next week. Also, hi Maine, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Yeah. So explain what I'm doing. Since I know it's been a while since you've been here, Maine. Ever since last year. Actually, I think a little bit before that as well, like late 2024. Doing alright? Yeah. So, ever since like at least at the earliest late 2024, so like November or December of 2024, I've been writing a novel. There's going to be around 33 chapters, at least for the first draft. I might combine some chapters together depending on how short they are. But right now I am doing outlines for those chapters because I want to at least know what I'm doing when I actually write the chapters. And it usually takes me 2 streams to write a full chapter anyway. And the outlines usually take like about an hour at the very most. Like 1 or 2 hours. Anyway, I actually have a cat with me. He just came inside my room as I was doing the waiting room. But this is one of the... So I have a bunch of the chapters actually written pinned here. And for anyone wondering what this is, it's basically a script that I made to kind of like explain how I made Hatchley's Revenge. But this document is kind of like explains like the... So that's very cool. Yeah, also thank you for the streak. Yeah. Have one big document, which is this. And I have the chapters separated into arcs. There are 7 arcs in total. They have like an average of 4 chapters. And the arcs basically surround one character. Lalandula Spica and Pokostemon and Cablin both are about Patchouli, who is the protagonist. And all of the arcs are named after plants because main cast are also named after plants. Osmanthus fragrans is the current arc I'm working on the outlines for. And there are 5 chapters in this arc. I have in the outlines for these three. And I plan on also starting on this arc. Also, Galactic Cats have been renamed to Heimkatzel in the story. I just forgot to change it in this document. But right now there are 33 chapters in total. Once I reach summer break, I plan on doing a write-a-thon where I, write all of these chapters. Hey, Magda, would you like to say hi to chat? I don't think she wants to. Maggie. Shirley. You want to just go into your box? That's fine with me. Kitty, yeah, she's one of my various cats. Also, I'm fully aware that I am probably going to end up writing all of the chapters before the end of stream technically happens. So I have one thing that I've been working on for a fandom I'm in because it won a poll out of all the works in progresses I have. And I'd like to mention that the name of the file is called Moisturize Me. And for anyone wondering, why would you name that file Moisturize Me? It's about hair. Interesting. It's actually for the game Twisted Wonderland, which recently got an anime adaptation. And it's basically about, it happens around book 5 in the game, which I only just finished book 1, which, given that I took a several year break from the game because I forgot to reinstall it on my Samsung phone after changing to a different phone company for my new phone, I have a lot of catching up to do. But yeah, basically this is a fic that I've been working on, and I'm probably going to work on this around the end of stream once I'm done with the outlines for the rest of my original story. And yes, I did in fact name the file Moisturize Me. Do not underestimate my ability to name the file names. Weird. But yeah. I'm actually gonna go take my quick release Adderall, because I have some extended release Adderall, but I plan on using those up once my semester actually starts. It's happening in 5 days. My classes haven't published. I know I definitely need to... I probably need to check after stream or something. See if any of them have been published so that I can, tell my mom what materials I need to buy and what textbooks I need. that and also see what assignments I can do pretty quickly. You know, introductions and stuff. Usually those are the first assignments I have to do for the classes. Self-intros. And then I have to reply to like 2 people to introduce myself. And since these are mostly art classes, I'm probably just gonna show like art that I made. And that's probably going to include the birthday fugi I made. But anyway. Yeah, classes start soon. Yeah. I am figuring out my schedule for the next 2 months. So, you know, for assignments. So I'll be using time. I also plan on at least once a month, you know, dedicating a stream to working on assignments. So, like, depending on the assignment that I have. That's very good, yeah. I plan on streaming on Saturdays and Sundays during my semester. But there is going to be one Monday where I will be live because it's a holiday. And the campus will be closed anyway. Anyway. Let's get started on this whole shebang. Also, I should probably put in the pinned message. Actually, I think I'm gonna put it in the actual... I can put it in the stream. Okay, text. Font Alice. Oh, that's way too big. Alright. Go in, put this in the corner. Down there. And now I'm going to continue writing. Wait, where did Magda go? Magda, you can't go into the closet! Maggie! She's doing this thing where she will roll in front of a door if she wants it to be open so she can explore or like leave a room. And she's doing it through the door that goes into my closet. She's not allowed to go into the closet. Let me go get her. Would you like to say hi? She's choosing not to speak. Choosing not to speak. No closet kitty! Yeah. Luckily, the door to my closet is almost always closed. You're a silly baby. You're a silly little baby. You're a silly baby. You're a silly little baby. A silly little baby. You're not allowed to go into the... She put a paw on my face. Must smell like glitter. Here's the kitty. Here's the little one. He squeaked at me. A very quiet squeak. He's just a squeaky little baby. Wait. Alright. Leave my box. She's back in her box. Need to replace her box. One that's just more resilient. Oh, I need to take this stuff out of it. Yeah. I guess a little girl. Hi, silly little girl. Are. Silly little. Yeah. Luckily, I had to take her out of the closet. My dresser, on the other hand, she has tried to go inside of it. I mean, I do call her a little criminal. And, like, affectionately. Yeah, I call her a little criminal. But that's just because of her miscreant behavior. Yeah, she's not the most talkative cat. The talkative one is Sabrina. And she talks out of anger. But anyway. Also, ads are in 5 minutes. Yeah. Also, something that I've been thinking about is making a new emote. But instead of using this design, I plan on using the design of the new character that I'm making for my VTuber or shenanigans. Yeah. Actually, hold on. Let me go get out the image. That's a nice idea. And it is going to be a reference to Dungeon Meshi. It's going to be it's going to be a reference to these two. You know, Laios and Fallon, Toden. It's going to be like a stare emote. That's cute. Yeah, the autism stare. I'm probably just gonna name it Stare. But I'm probably going to reference Fallon for this one. But anyway, ads are starting soon, so I'm gonna take a break from writing. Even though I've only written like half a page worth of the outline. But yeah. Also, there is going to be a scene where Osby sneezes and one of her antlers come off. This is purposeful. It's comedic. Anyway, ads have started. So I'm gonna just chill here. I'm actually gonna save my progress. And I think I'm gonna go give the kitty some attention. Alrighty. Why you? Again, unfortunately, ad jail happened again. Unfortunately, actually had a little bit of no notification. Yeah, a little strange. Let me go and check the going live thing. Okay, so Dreamcord has been working because it had done the ping for everyone. Not Discord? Oh, you use a browser. That explains. Oh, you're talking about Twitch? Yeah, sometimes Twitch can be a bit of a miscreant. And you only get the notification after, like, the streamer's been live for several minutes, or, like, up to, like, half an hour. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but yeah. It kind of happens sometimes. Unfortunately, it's not something I can really fix. It's probably something more like, it's more of a Twitch issue. Like a Twitch in general issue instead of like with my those things. But yeah. Anyway, ads are ending pretty soon. So I'm gonna wait for those to end. I'm actually gonna wait a little bit for the ads to end. A little after the ads have ended, because sometimes people get them later and, you know, sometimes when it says that the ad break is over, it's actually not over for everyone. Yes. Welcome back, Maine. Yeah. Also, I do have a timeline for all of these events. I think I do have it on Ellipsis. Which is the story timeline. Yeah. But yeah. So... Right. Yeah. I'm gonna go consume Snickerdoodle Keys. Hmm. Also, I did need to eventually make a design for Cordelia. Actually did make a Picro of her. But I don't remember exactly what I made her look like. Oh right, I did give her vitiligo. Yeah, I ended up, like... In the design I have for Cordelia, she has blue hair, her vitiligo on her face and stuff. She's like relatively dark-skinned. So not as dark-skinned as Linnea. She still has a good amount of melanin. Wait. Okay, my overlay has decided to be a little bit of a miscreant. But yeah. We're almost at the second page for the outline. Yeah. I'm actually getting pretty close to like chapter 20 of the outlines. Actually, I think I have actually started the chapter 20 like a few months ago. On. Let me see if I have it. I do! I have chapter 20! Also, let me... pin this. Yeah, I actually did write this. It used to like, go. Yeah. And that has been pinned. You stream? Yeah, what do you stream, main? Now I'm curious. Also, I just remembered that I need to purchase some assets for my streams and stuff, because I still don't have a stinger animation for when I switch from different screens. Which it's been like about 3.5 years. I should probably invest in one. No stream yet, just getting stuff together to start soon. Well, I wish you luck on your streaming escapades. Yeah. You don't need like a whole bunch of things just yet. But like, you don't even need like all the stuff that I use. Like, you know, my overlays. The overlays and stuff I use, you don't have to make them yourself. A little test to see if things worked or looked funky. Yeah. Yeah. The stream lasted 16 minutes and 12 seconds. Yeah. It's always good to do like a small test stream. And stuff. So, just in case. But for me, I actually have some of my assets. Well, wait, no, just one asset I bought. Figured out what you need to stream the game. You were trying to do some funky stuff with OBS. Yeah. So depending on the so something about some games is like if it needs to be run with administrator mode, then you also have to run the program in administrator mode, which for me, yeah, kind of messes with my Stream Deck. And there is something else that you can kind of like get, because I've been looking at XLR interfaces, which because they're analog instead of digital, supposedly it makes your mic quality a little better. Administrator mode was the issue. Yeah. For me, because of that, I usually end up, like, when I stream with Nikki, I end up just streaming it with a full screen capture, which is probably not the best idea. You don't know what that is? Basically, administrator mode is like if you have admin privileges on a computer, sometimes in order to run a certain file or executable, you just put the game in as source. Yeah. So it gets shown. Unfortunately, for games that run on administrator mode, it will actually show any of the gameplay. It will just show just one static image. Which is why sometimes you have to run your capture software on administrator mode. Like you have to run it as an administrator. Yeah. There is actually an XLR interface that is also a Stream Deck. It's by the same company that makes my Stream Deck. And the company is Elgato. XLR. It's a type of like cable that is like so for, you know, audio input and stuff. Supposedly it's a little better than you know, certain like, yeah, this is the XLR cable, like XLR interface, and it supposedly helps with, you know, having a little more control over your microphone. Yeah, Elgato has a lot of different things and stuff. And usually it has like some kind of dial or slider so that you can control certain things about, you know, the volume and stuff. For the $299. They're $299.99 to like $300 US. Which, given that, you know, it's technology, so it's pretty expensive. I know I also need to look more at more Elgato stuff. Apparently Elgato also has it expensive, yeah. And that sort of stuff is very expensive. But yeah, do you think you'll have to stay with what you have just got a new mic? Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna continue writing a little bit more. So, yeah. May might be AFK. Yeah. I'm actually gonna start ads about now because we're at the 1 hour mark. So I'm gonna do the intermission and then I'll be back to continue writing the outline. I shall be back. I'm back. But anyway. Yeah. So, I'm gonna continue writing. What time right now? It's like 2 p.m. for me. I don't know about Maine though. $12 p.m. for you? Yeah. So it's 12 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah. You just get a roasty. Oh no, I've been yoked. Whatever would I do? Yeah. Now you know when to start your first serious stream. Yeah. Unfortunately, when it comes to college, yeah, you have some late classes. Yeah. When it comes to college, some classes, you actually don't have like a completely structured time to do all of your stuff. And sometimes there are classes that happen late into the night. Like, some of them end at like 22 o'clock. Or like 10 p.m. And some of them can happen very early in the day. And you can also have classes on the weekends! Ugh. Yeah, unfortunately. Why? Well, it's because college is very different from high school and middle school and just... It's very different from grade school. Instead of, you know, having one building where everyone has, you know, the same schedule, they have the same amount of time in specific classes, and then they have lunch. Yeah, I need to go to school next Monday. Yeah, I do. My class actually starts at like 12:30 p.m. and ends at like 2:55. So close to 3 p.m. Yeah. But for college, usually, because a lot of the people who attend college have, you know, jobs that they have to do, the time time frame for certain classes. You can have some classes that start at like early hours. I've had classes that started at like 9:30 and then at like 11. And then there are classes that start at 8 p.m. and end at 10 p.m. That all depends on your schedule. Didn't have a problem with 839. Yeah. And then there's something else that is quite a doozy. Virtual classes. Yes, so basically, when it comes to college classes, you usually don't have classes every single day unless you, like, have virtual classes start at school for you. Yeah. But sometimes these classes don't have any actual, like, meeting times. You have to pace yourself to do all of your assignments on your own time. Or if you at any time. Unfortunately, when it comes to college, some of us don't. Especially when you are a full-time student, which means you are taking 4 or more classes. I know last semester I was taking 5. So usually if a college student has any free time, it's during the weekend. You don't give a fuck. Yeah. Unfortunately, not all of us can, you know. You're taking 5 classes a semester because of your scholarships? Oh god! Supposed to be just a student without studying that you can stream. Fortunately, sometimes you have extra assignments and things you have to do outside of your class time. And those are things that you have to do so that you don't fail the class. And these include like projects and stuff. That is why I know what it's like in America with the school and things you take. How many hours y'all got? Yeah, especially for math. It actually highly depends on the amount of credits you have. Or like what kind of classes you are taking. Credits? Credits are basically a numerical value. What time you have now? So, one of my classes actually starts in February. So, I currently only have 3 classes, but I am still considered a full-time student. But because 3 of the classes are completely virtual, I have to dedicate certain time in my day on the days where I don't have my in-person classes, which are on Monday and Wednesday, in order to do all of the assignments I have due for my other classes. For me, I usually make a to-do list, and for the days that I have to do assignments, how much time a week without homework? We usually don't really get homework because we're taking 16 credits, so that's 16 hours of class time plus the recommended 3 hours study time instead of the normal work. Yeah. So, depending on, how many assignments 16 hours a day of being in school, I don't think it's, no, not a day, a week yet. Instead of, usually when it comes to college classes, you usually have the hours you take to class 4 distributed amongst all 7 days of the week. Depending on what classes you have you will meet like once or twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week for a certain amount of time. Some take 3 or 4, but most have 36 or 38. Yeah. A big chunk of the time comes from work you get from the classes. Yeah. And the amount of time you need to take to do those assignments can also wildly vary depending on what kind of assignment it is. Like, if you have an essay, that is usually going to take more time than a quiz. For 3 minutes of hours of homework per class a day. Yeah. I mean, if you do all of your classes at home, everything is homework. Ironic laughter. Yeah. So, depending on what you have. So for me, I usually try to do 4 assignments a day. Here depends on the person in class and for how long the work takes. You're taking high-level courses, so it's pretty difficult work. Yeah. Depending on how complex the subject is, it can take a long time to do those things. Like, imagine if you would, you are an art student, because that's my major in my program. And you are taking like 4 classes. Who knew the economy was so complicated? Yeah, just imagine if you would probably taking sports bio or the darn thing you don't know the English word for, and history. Yeah. Usually the thing with, college is that you usually don't want to get physics and chemistry. You're getting bored. Yeah. Because you can't do good if you don't like it. Well, sometimes you gotta, condition yourself to like something in order to motivate yourself to do the things you need to do. Sometimes you have to get a little parasocial and be if this character from this media would be proud of me if I do well on this thing. But that because you're sitting there telling yourself you're having fun, and then there's the voice who's just don't, just go. Volunteer makes you take some classes not relating to your degree, like English or sociology. Yeah, for me, I had to take some classes for science and mathematics. Actually, hold on. Let me actually go into my student information system. And math, English, and German. Gonna have advanced. I'm actually not going to share my actual screen here because it is, personal stuff. Apparently I have a 3.6016 GPA. Which is pretty good. So, I'm going to use an example of all my academic requirements. Yeah, you didn't have to do honor classes in college. You did them in high school. It sucks. Yeah. Yeah. GPA is grade point average. Yeah. So there are some classes that you have in order for honor class. Oh yeah, that is like an advanced class for certain subjects. You didn't hear the points? Oh. That is my current GPA. But yeah, basically, sometimes when it comes to the classes, you have certain requirements, but instead of like specific classes, sometimes you have blocks. So for me, I have a transfer passport, which is basically a set of courses that follow. Yours is a 2.96, it was a 3.5 in high school, but last year was a tough one. Yeah. Yeah, there are a few blocks for these. They include brain communication, humanities, arts, or history, social or behavior science, natural science, that is like your chemistry, your geology, and that stuff, mathematics, which I passed with a B. Then there is your course grad rep. I think yours probably like a 3.9. Y'all didn't know saying this year and didn't want anymore. Yeah. But yeah. Then there are, of course, your course requirements for your major. Grade school. Yeah. Unfortunately, school can be quite miserable, especially if you're neurodivergent. But you also have electives that you have to take, which can include, natural science and some mathematics. And then you also have a health/physical education elective. I took first aid and CPR for mine, and I got an A. And then you also have your common grad rep and your residency requirement, which requires 16 credits. What's that? It's basically your requirements for, graduating from college and getting your diploma. Or, like, your degree, like, mentioned 2 minutes ago. I don't fully remember. If you're talking about first aid and CPR, it's like a health class that you learn how to, like, take care of certain medical situations, and you also get a CPR. No. And I probably don't remember. I meant neurodivergent. Oh! Neurodivergent? Neurodivergent basically means that you have a condition that affects you neurologically, like ADHD, autism, bipolar, OCD, that sort of stuff. Usually if you are neurodivergent, you may end up needing accommodations in school and stuff. For me, one of my accommodations was wearing hearing protection. And another was being allowed to bring a water bottle with me to class, because I have an accommodation. It's basically something that you are allowed to have that helps you. You're not allowed to drink in class. Well, it was basically a permission to have my own water bottle. Like, I was given explicit permission. Usually you can. Sometimes you can bring a water bottle. Other times you can't. But I have a tendency to get migraines. And I have for the past decade. And one of the things that we are only forbidden to drink in the classroom, that's like chemistry, music, and these special rooms that we need to drink outside. Yeah. Yeah. Usually you technically, I think, aren't allowed to bring a water bottle into class and drink from it in class because of, you know, textbooks and stuff. Might accidentally get them wet and water damaged. And one of my other accommodations was that I could leave class 5 minutes early. Yeah, that's the reason. Yeah, one of my accommodations for back when I was in grade school, like middle and high school, I was allowed to leave 5 minutes early because of how crowded and loud the classroom can get. Well, the hallways can get. And when the bell rings and everyone has to go to their next class. That sounds nice. Yeah. And that happened because of my, you know, sensitive hearing and stuff. It's also why I was allowed to wear hearing protection. And I remember for like some of my classes in high school, I had to go up the stairs, and that allowed me time to catch my breath. Because I have bad stamina. But yeah. Also, I have some stuff, but not like hearing and stuff. Yeah. And my mom had to fight for my brother and I to get our accommodations. And you bet that I use those accommodations very often. Anyway, I should probably stop yapping and continue writing. Yeah, good, Sam. You think you didn't go to football training for months? Unfortunately, I have a combination of asthma and bad genetics sometimes. Like, in terms of health stuff. I have some stuff still doesn't, that you don't know why you need to do. Then you just can't just, you know, not do them. There's some now, but some you don't. Yeah. I actually remember, like, back in elementary school, we had to play recorders, which is kind of like a worse version of a flute. And apparently, that was to like increase, like strengthen our lungs as children and prevent the, you know, onset of childhood asthma. But joke's on them! I was born with that condition! But anyway. You want strong lungs, you gotta get into diving. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm, you know, disabled and There are some things I need to more worry about. Luckily, my lungs capacity is pretty decent. It's just other areas I need to strengthen, like, you know, my legs and stuff. We're not gonna get into diving, but drowning. What do you say? Yeah. I actually have almost drowned twice in my life. It's why I tend to avoid, you know, a lot of, like, bodies of water where I have to swim. Because the second time, it was when I was at a water park with my Girl Scout troop. And I accidentally went into the deep end in the wave pool. And I had to be saved by a lifeguard. And after, you know, I processed that, like, after I went home, I was just like, I'm not going into another body of water to swim again. I don't think that you've ever did. Eh. To be fair, that was probably like a skill issue on my end. Because I've always been short for anyway. Anyway, ads are happening soon. I'm actually gonna go get up and stretch my legs. Oh, Magda, what are you doing? Roll. As I've started. Oh. Damn it. Oh. He's done. Come with me. Done. Easier. I bet. Look at you. Oh, it appears that cat enjoys her tea. No. Going crazy over a toy. Alright, I gotta stop playing with you. I'm sorry, little girl. Sorry, but I have to. She went up on her hind legs in order to grab my arm. You're silly. A dog, 3 cats, 14 chicken, and 1 rooster and 2 cows. Thank you for the dote. Four dogs, 2 girlfriend. That's a lot of chickens. 4 cats, 4. So, I don't remember what I called the ceremony. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. They die so fast and young. Yeah. Fortunately, that is sometimes what life can be. Sometimes pet will die very young. I've actually had that happen to me like 4 years ago. We had a cat who was born along with one of our other cats. He was 14. That's actually somewhat like mid-range in terms of age. That's really young for our age. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes the death they should be able to live till 80 minimum. Yeah. Fortunately, when it comes to other animals, their lifespan is shorter than ours. But because of that, the moments that they spend with us as humans are, you know, pretty much their whole lives, depending on how long you've had them. So, even if they die, at least they were able to spend time with, you know, the humans that they love. Yeah. Doesn't make it any better. Yeah. unfortunately, death is something that happens to us all. But that just makes it more important that we cherish what we can. It's every close me to death for your dog to come back healthy and just able to live 4 more years at least. That's probably not a good thing to say. Might sound a bit much. Yeah. You don't give a flying fuck. Yeah, the mourning period can like suck a lot. About your pet. I mean, sometimes you might end up with a similar pet. My family kind of joked that one of our cats is the reincarnation of a cat that passed away when I was younger. First one, Whiskey, was from when you were 1 year old. Yeah. Yeah. The mourning period can take a long time. Yeah. I know that when some of my older cats do end up passing on, I'm probably going to be like very emotionally devastated when that happens. But I know that they, wouldn't want me to like be sad for too long, and so that I can spread the love that I had for the old cats to younger cats. And sometimes the thing we can do is to honor their memories, honor their legacy. Also, I need to go look something up for this. Yeah, I'm... $9,019 points? Hell yeah! Still going up so slow? Well, that is... Unfortunately, that is what happens with, you know, coins and stuff. They go up gradually, but... That just proves, that just makes redeeming the VIP way more rewarding. And I'm actually looking at... No. $8,947. Hell yeah. Also, did I even spell this correctly? Took it as the first person. But you're actually not the first person to redeem it. I actually had it at a cheaper price earlier, but I thought it would probably be best if I increased the price. I'm actually researching stuff as I'm writing. How much was it like before? I think it was like 5,000 or something. But yeah, unfair. Yeah. To be fair, that was back when that's a quarter. Yeah. Yeah, I changed it to like 20,000 because I ended up realizing you know, how little time it would take to get VIP. And I'm just like, oh shit. I might not have enough VIP slots in order to, if I keep it at this amount. So I ended up being just like, I should increase this. How many are there? I need to check. I have 18 of the VIP left. And overall there are 20. And where can you see that? It's just something that only I can see, because basically if you go to your creator dashboard and you go into community, you can then go into roles manager. And then you can see how many, what roles people have in your channel. Yeah. Can't find it. Yeah. Fortunately, sometimes the place you find it is, at least for the chat you are in, is the roles manager that is in the chat. That thing. But of course, I don't know. And you can like determine what badges you can show. In your stream manager, you can't find that thing. Yeah. Anyway. Anyway, I'm gonna continue writing stuff. Where you can see the monster and inactive viewers and you're not an active viewer. That kinda sucks sometimes. Most of you are watching except yourself since you watch your chat. Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm eventually gonna start the intermission again. But anyway, I am finished with writing out the, outline for this. It's only 2 pages, but knowing me, the actual script for this is going to end up being like at least twice or 3 times the length of the outline. But I'm gonna cross that out of the to-do list. and I'm going to go ahead, start ads and the intermission. So I'll return in a few minutes. it take so long? But anyway, I actually already wrote some of this as like actual prose. But anyway, this is going to be the thing. They work on. Is that an airplane I hear? I don't know if y'all hear it, but I do. And yes, this is going to be a bit of a sentimental moment. Because it kind of like... It's meant to display some of the... Because Osmi didn't know that Dr. Linnea and Cordelia were, you know, doing what they could to preserve aspects of, you know, Osmi's home. Well, her old home. Basically. She didn't know that Linnea had been transcribing all of the documents that were from her homeland that she could find. And so she kind of just starts crying. Yeah. So let me do that. Also, I do have some plans for, like, if I do get this, like, either traditionally published so that there's, like, a physical copy, or I, like, make an ebook where it's, like, a PDF and people can, like, print out the pages and bind it themselves. I plan on messing a bit with the typography. Or, you know, some aspects of the, you know, novel. Because there are aspects of the novel that happen, you know, that are shown in, like, writing in, on paper or text between, like, group chats and stuff. And at least for the second arc, posts from different social medias, including Tumblr. So something I want to do is I want to try and use my experience as a graphic design student in order to, you know, try and make this a little more immersive. I could just imagine a professional book reviewer or like a fellow author who reviews books from other authors, and they end up seeing the like funny typography choices I made in order to make the story like a little more immersive, like show what is, you know, written down in something, or like what is a social media post and something along those lines. And they just comment on it like, this is not something I expected from a first-time author, but it feels like a welcome choice. Yeah. But of course, I might need to learn how to implement them in a way that works. Because there are some things that might need to figure out how to do a text box. Like you'd be able to do in like a presentation and document. And figure out how I'd be implementing those into, you know, the format of a novel. And of course, there are other things as well, and this is probably also something I'm going to do for the actual, like, game if I ever actually get around to making the game. Which I plan on doing eventually, like, I plan on eventually making some kind of, like, video game based on one of my stories. I'm nothing like super duper expansive or super like big, because I am just one grown-ass woman. A grown-ass woman who is still in college and has no experience with game development. All I know is how to draw funny images. Yeah. Also, I need to go into my files and look at the reference sheet I made for Osmi's outfit. Which we just love that now. Also, ads have started. Anyway. Anyway, I'm gonna save. Now we wait for ads to be over. Anyway. Welcome back, everybody. Yeah. 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 You'll go really tired and all that stuff. Understandable! Go do your eeps. Yeah. But yeah. I don't know how long I'll be... No. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh well. Okay then, yeah. I shall see you later. Good night, Metal. You have fun and a good day. I hope so too. Sweet dreams indeed. Mm. And I'm gonna continue typing it until I'm done with this part of the outline, and then I'm probably gonna take a longer intermission to eat something. Anyway, I am actually gonna go start the intermission. And I'm gonna use this time to use the bathroom and all that stuff. So, yeah. I'll be seeing y'all in a few minutes. am back. Also, hello, Edis. Yeah. Continue writing. Oh, Magda. Wait, no, not Magda. Sabrina is choosing to use the litter box. Let's see if she'll place a stink bomb. She appears as... A silly baby. That silly old girl. Also, I'm not sure if Tian Xiao is going to be his character's actual name. I probably need to do a little more research, like Chinese naming conventions, in order to figure out what kind of name would best suit him. Hello, Shadow Hunter. How are you? I hope you're doing well. You good? I'm doing quite well. I'm currently in the middle of writing an outline for this chapter. Anyway. But yeah. So I might change part of the once I am in the phase of writing the second draft of the story, I might split part of the chapter here and place it in the previous chapter so that this can just be the Trial of Pearls, which I'm likely going to rename the chapter 2. Also, I actually don't know what I'm going to be doing exactly for all the tests here. I'm likely gonna make a document to figure out how I'd be doing all of these. Also, ads are happening in about 3.5 minutes. So once ads start, I will take a break from writing. Yeah. Let's save, and I am going to wait for ads. Actually, I'm gonna go start ads now. But yeah. I'll let ads roll. And once ads are done, I will finish writing this whole shebang. And yes, I will figure out how to do the test of character. Yeah. 1 minute until ads are over. But yeah. But anyway, the ads are now over, so I'm gonna continue writing. Yeah. So, I did originally plan on, you know, doing at least one more outline for today. However, I don't really feel like doing that. So I'm going to, once again, end stream early. Because I also really need to use the bathroom. So tomorrow is going to be Deltarune. I'm going to try to fight Jevil once again. But yeah. I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. But I gotta go and yeet myself to the bathroom. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's hope that tomorrow I can actually defeat Jevil.